Click and clack, we're in the zone. Strategies like kings on a throne. Outside world can crumble and fall. In this digital realm,
We stand tall. Hey,
fired outside our door.
what's up, everybody?
Always wanting more. Virtual battles.
Here we are once again. It's your boy, The Grade, and we are back in action right here in the doggy den, coming from here to you, my friends. Back with another one for you. And today we're going to be talking about something that is a little bit on the slower pace, but it's something that is so crucial. If you're somebody that, like myself, has found themselves a little bit of an addict for, that's right, a new game has come out. You see, I've got Call of Duties. You see, I've got Battlefield on my PlayStation here. But this little shape right here, my friend, this triangle, is going to pull up Delta Force on console. That's right. The long awaited game that's been out on PC for a while has come to console. And with it comes all of the different game variants that are within this game, and it's quite interesting, actually. On one hand, it is like Battlefield. There's one game mode that is almost exactly like Battlefield, and it still has some differences, obviously. Different characters do different things. They have different abilities and different specialty weapons and things of that nature. But the core multiplayer engagements are pretty much maybe not a little brother, but definitely a cousin of the Battlefield games. And that's what you see right here on the left portion of the top of the screen. It's called Warfare. You go in with 32 versus 32 on vehicles and on foot, and you go around a map that has blocked off areas that you can only go so far. They're much larger than Call of Duty maps, but that is definitely a multiplayer experience, and it has places for squads for sure. Definitely would have a lot more fun with a squad. All right, and then you've got operations here, and this is more like an Escape from Tarkov or a DMZ if you're from the COD community. DMZ, but way more involved and way more intricate, and that's why I say it's kind of like Escape from Tarkov. But it is a totally separate game from Warfare. Operations is an extraction shooter. All right, conquer the warfare challenges to snag awesome appearances. Conquer the warfare challenges to snag awesome appearances. And I will say, I have not purchased the battle pass in this game, and I have 100% received tons of things. Just from completing in-game challenges, from completing in-game storyline missions and things of that nature. So here we are. This is your home base. This is your tactical warfare unit. All right, this is your personal space. All of this will be locked down when you first get into the game.
Some new trouble every day, but oh well. Nothing
Like here, I can trade things. See, that's still locked for me because I've been trying to get some things leveled up. But you got that, and then you got your little area over here, your little gymnasium, still locked up on my account right here. Auction house, you can sell things that you find in game. Upgrade Central Command HQ. All right, Cyber Warfare Division. And the stash. That's where all your stuff is stored. So, why am I showing you all this? Well, to be completely honest, I came from the COD community, right? And when I come from the COD community, I found myself somewhat confused. And it wasn't the idea of the game. Because I've played DMZ, I know what an extraction shooter is. I get the concept that you have a certain amount of time. There's PvE and PvP. You loot, you extract, and so on. Try to stay alive during the process. Right? But the things that I struggled with coming from COD was one, how the stash worked. But two, were the Battlefield type settings that come along with this game, right? So I wanted to break down a quick settings video for those guys out there that want to play this game and are struggling. You're feeling a little nauseous, you're feeling a little sluggish, like you're walking through quicksand. Whatever your issue is, that is all got to do with this portion of the game right here. And it's menus within menus within menus. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with right here on the game tab, crossplay. I turned this off for the time being that I'm on PlayStation, and computers, PCs have had months. They've had quite a while to play this game and to get good at it. And mouse and keyboard may have a bit of an advantage in this game due to the vast distances that you can kind of see people. So hey, let's start off with the most likely chance of us getting used to the game. So with that being the first setting, I go ahead and toggle it off, because it's just like the other games, Battlefield or COD. You can play with PC and Xbox and PlayStation all on the same game servers, and that's cool. I do plan on playing crossplay in the future, but until we get a few of these missions down and done and under our belt, and until we get used to all the finer tuning aspects of the game, we're gonna leave that off, right? Now, now that we've got the crossplay talked about, scope magnification adapts automatically. When enabled, the magnification rate of low power scopes will adjust adaptively based on FOV. Now, I've got it turned on. And that's because this game has got some weird screen tearing at times. And it's got some weird movement glitches. It's not a bad game, but it is very complex and it's very immense as far as like files and the amount of things that are going on in the game at one time. So letting it adapt automatically based off my FOV, I feel like it helped me when I turned it on. It helped me a little bit with the wooziness of going ADS and like tracking people during that adjustment period of going to my new FOV and having the magnification adjust adaptively, right? instead of it being such a punched in, zoomed in type of deal. Um, it kind of makes it more of my original FOV because I have my FOV panned out quite a bit. So with that being said, it's up to you. It's a personal thing, but I like my FOV to stay similar as my ADS and my hipfire. So hey, reloading interrupts ADS off. I don't want to be looking outside at something that is small because this is large map gameplay. I don't want to have somebody in my crosshairs and then need to reload and then completely lose them into bushes or completely lose their movement of where they're headed to just because I'm reloading. So I turn that off personally. Let's have automatic airborne mantle on and you were to grab a ledge instead of fall. Now the chances that are going to happen might be slim. It might be none, but hey, it's always better to be safe than sorry. And then we go down to autopilot. All right, I've got that on so that vehicles don't automatically crash. Put high value items in your safe box first. You can do that for sure. Just in case, because your safe box in your backpack is just in case you do find some high value items that you need for a mission, or maybe they have a high monetary value. You can put those in your safe box inside your backpack. That way, if you get eliminated, you still get to carry 2 slot items out of the game. That's pretty good little deal there that a lot of people don't know about. So, all right, auto sorting when opening stash. I have that set to on. That way it can make room for new items, etc., etc. All right, now let's move on to the next setting on controller. Now, here on controller, it's a little bit different than you're going to be used to if you're a COD player, but it is going to make sense, I promise you, okay? Now, on the right stick center dead zone, we're going to leave this at 10. And we're going to put our stick maximum at 100. If you are very familiar with your controller, you can take this right stick maximum down a little bit. What this is going to do is it's going to make it to where you, let's say you put this at 90. That's how far you have to push your stick for it to be at 100% pushed. Right? So that is 90% of the way over from center of joystick. Right? So, boom, that's 100%. Once you get to 90%, it's going to be telling it digitally that it's 100%. So if you use that on your right stick, it's going to make you aim quicker. And I have that set to 100 because you're going to be messing with your aim sensitivity here in just a minute. And the way that this game is set up with your joysticks, trust me, you're going to want to make sure that you don't have any aim drift, no stick drift whatsoever with aiming and with how far away some people are. You don't really want to have that stick drift. Stick response curve. Now, a lot of us are used to dynamic, but like I said, until you get used to the game, I would recommend leaving it on standard so that it initially starts off turning slow and then it speeds up the longer you have the stick pushed down. When in dynamic, it's the reverse of that. It initially moves fast so that you can flick from target to target, and then it slows down to the normal movement speed. That's not a bad thing. I mean, really, if you're very familiar with this, then you can have it on whatever you like. But standard, in my opinion, is the best option for beginning, just because there are so many different types of gadgets and different types of tools that you can use in this game. it might take you a little bit of getting used to before you're perfect at muscle memory for all of those items and how fast they're used. So, moving on. Sensitivity preset on here, you can have it low, medium, or high, but I've got mine set to custom. And the reason for that is there's a lot more horizontal places for you to be looking than there are vertical. There's not much on this game that's going to be over one story higher than you as far as being on balconies or being on ground level. And this game it comes stock very slow moving. So I've got my hip fire that's walking around normal with your gun at your side at your hip fire. I've got it set to 300. And then the vertical hip fire I've got set to 200. So that's a good starting place, in my opinion, for both the hip fire and for the ADS down here. The ADS, right? So it's about a third faster on the horizontal than it is for the vertical. Right? This game is fairly forgiving when it comes to movement back and forth, left and right. But your actual aim assist in this game is not as strong as it is in Call of Duty. So now coming over here to the audio, got it set to headphones and object-based binaural audio. All right. Now, if you enable this, please set spatial sound to off in your system. Right? So what that means is it's going to make your sound in game be more 3D. Right? If somebody's walking behind you, the headphones are going to try to make it sound like they're behind you instead of just to your left or right. All right. And then I've got my music set to off just because I stream. The UI, I don't need to hear it quite as much. Voice volumes, obviously, and copyrighted off for me. I've got my mic mode to touchpad to speak because I don't want to be walking around talking to my stream or whatever, and then people can hear you in game. I'm not sure how that works yet with Prox Chat, but even your teammates, I mean, they don't need to hear you constantly unless you're communicating about something. I've got mine set to the touchpad. Pretty easy to reach up and touch the touchpad to speak. Mic volume, it's all pretty much preference on this stuff here. And then privacy, obviously. This is all preference for you guys, whatever you prefer. All right. And once you get all these settings complete, you get these settings set up the way that you would like them to be, there's plenty of stuff to learn in the game. It will take you a minute. Don't get frustrated. Don't get upset if things seem to not be going exactly your way at first. There's a lot of stuff to learn. And this game is actually set up pretty well. For when you make a mistake, the game has like a cutscene or a learning opportunity. Like for the first time when you fail to extract, it's going to tell you like how to probably do it a little bit better. And it might not be the perfect setup. It might not be the perfect device for every single situation in person for every single time. But the game is complicated. I mean, just looking at our little home base here, there's several different things that you can go to here, and you have to upgrade them as you go. And it requires items in the game that you have to hunt down or purchase You can purchase them and do it the quick way. It's not cheap or necessarily always easy, but it will be fun. So whether you're a solo, running by yourself to get all the things you need and to test your skills and abilities, or whether you're a squad of 3 that have worked together for many missions and raids, make sure that you keep your eye out for the enemy and your health bar while you go into and out of all of the different map options and all of the different menus in Delta Force. And guys, until the next time, I'm the greatest. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell if you want to be reminded of when we go live or put out more content like this in the future. I appreciate you guys. God bless. Until the next time, I'm out, man. Peace.